media. Today we are going to talk upon how 2024 Modi road is to fulfill the dreams of Mahatma Gandhi. Well, on the 8th anniversary of Narendra Modi government, the BJP and the NDA government are embarking on hectic activities, most of which are aimed at putting the party firmly on the road to 2024. Well, as a part of this journey, apart from the political activities of the party and the government, there's a subtle yet concerted effort to mold the image of Prime Minister Narendra Modi into that of a more moderate, statesman-like leader. Well, consider these statements by PM Modi all delivered in the space of less than a month, with some even at the cost of PM taking a position markedly different from that of other senior leaders. Now, the first one is with Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin racking up the issue of alleged Hindi imposition. Modi, while addressing a gathering in Tamil Nadu on May 26, called Tamil an eternal language and Tamil culture global. The Prime Minister's remarks came a few weeks after Home Minister Amit Shah was quoted in the Parliamentary Official Language Committee as saying that Hindi should be the official language to unite the country. Now, second, on May 12, addressing the beneficiaries of the center-run schemes in the coal-bound Gujarat, Modi hinted that he was ready for a third term, saying, "It is not enough that I should rest now, that everything that has happened is good. No, my dream is saturation. Meet your target 100%. Get the government machinery into a habit. Create faith in the citizens," he said. Well, the focus of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's speech, unusually for a poll-bound state, stayed on welfare measures. Now, third, last week, again in poll-bound Gujarat, Modi asserted that he has been working on fulfilling the dreams of Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Well, he said, Mahatma Gandhi wanted an India in which the poor, Dalits, tribals and women are empowered, where cleanliness and health are a part of life, where the economy is based on local solutions and the country is Atmanirbhar. Well, this he said, adding that his government had worked all these in the last 8 years. Now, the fourth one. On May 29th, in the 89th episode of his radio address Man Ki Baat, Modi again emphasized on the diversity of languages and scripts, a clear departure from the one language, one nation or Hindi as the unifying language, a trope for other senior leaders. Now, moving on to the fifth one. At a time when BJP-ruled states have been eager on the use of sedition law to clamp down on dissidents, the Union Home Ministry, in an affidavit to the Supreme Court, said Prime Minister Narendra Modi had expressed clear and unequivocal views in favor of protecting civil liberties, respect for human rights, and believed that outdated colonial laws had no place in the country as it celebrated its 75th year of independence. Well, on April 30th, at a joint conference of the Chief Ministers and the Chief Justices of High Court, Modi said that laws that are irrelevant for the common citizens should be abolished. While Modi, then barely 2 years in the power and mindful of his domestic and international audience, had made a similar pitch in 2016. Will these fresh attempts at repacking brand Modi come at a time when officials as well as the strategies of the ruling party are apprehensive about the impact of the current state of the economy on Modi's image? Well, for the BJP, despite all its aggressive political activities and expansion programs, Modi is the party's only surefire trump card for the elections. Well, despite claiming that its success is implementing welfare schemes helped the party in the recent assembly elections, BJP leaders admit that the win was made possible only because of Modi's image. Without Modi, BJP can be in trouble, especially with inflation and unemployment hurting the government deeply, said a senior minister last week. Well, with the party keen to project Modi as the best Prime Minister India ever had, for which the competition has always been with Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, BJP leaders have already begun doubling down. Last week, Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai, reacting to the Congress leader Sitaramayya's statement that Modi had undone all the Nehru's good works, said, obviously he cannot be compared with Nehru because when China invaded India without taking proper measures, Nehru gave away border areas while Narendra Modi stood strong and saved them, he says. Well, when asked about the BJP government's unfinished task ahead of its 8th year anniversary, a senior BJP office bearer who enjoys proximity to the RSS leadership said addressing joblessness remains a big challenge for the government. Well, with the Ukraine war creating hurdles on the road to achieving the projected 7% GDP growth, officials are on a promotional overdrive. According to some officials, the government's campaign is so aggressive that it would seem like there's an election next year. Interestingly, most of these activities are not driven by ministers but by Niti Aayog and the Prime Minister's office, indicating that there is a conscious effort from the top leadership to bolster the government's image. Well, at the level of the organization, the party is launching an extensive fortnight-long outreach program beginning on Tuesday that will include union ministers, office bearers, state ministers, chief ministers who are expected to communicate how the Modi's government welfare programs have touched lives of people. However, it remains to be seen if the Prime Minister the BJP has placed on the pedestal will descend to the level of ordinary leaders, as if often the case closer to the election when he pulls out a different playbook, when his tone gets sharper or shriller. A case in point is the recent UP Assembly election, when BJP's campaign manager said that Modi had strictly instructed them to focus on the party's campaign or welfare programs and Yogi Adityanath government's development activities. Well, yet when it came to his turn, Modi had attacked the Samajwadi Party for shielding terrorists to safeguard his vote bank. With 2 years to go for the 2024 election, the question here rises, will this new packaging hold? Well, stay with us. We shall bring you more such interesting topics to talk about. This is Aparna Singh reporting for iScope Media.